And today we're going to take a nice little exploration, right? So the bongos are a Afro-Cuban drum set consistent with open-ended bottoms, right? And today we're going to explore how this particular tool or instrument, if you will, has helped to create a hip-hop classic, if you will. I think so anyway.
Yeah.
Can do. Yo, we are back in the mix. Good people. Welcome. Old ears, new ears, young ears, infant ears. Whoever is listening to this, however you seeing, being, hearing, and absorbing this, we are the mighty The Beat Connection. And I am your host, your man Shizz, the Can Do Kid, Mr. Nobody. To my left, your right is the beautiful singer-songwriter / producer.
Hey y'all, it's Alexa Gold. What's up? What's up?
And to the bottom, our resident fire spitter. Like I said, he performed all his own lyrical stunts. That current and former current 17-time AEW champion.
Azrael DiCaprio, Raw Deal Squad Entertainment in the building.
And y'all already know, shout him out. And we are the Suicide Squad of sampling. We are Beat Connection.
Let me go first.
Take it.
But I wanna try a different approach.
Okay.
I'm gonna hot tag in and out.
Hot tag, okay.
The reason I wanted to start off was because what we're talking about is In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida by the incredible bongo band.
Ooh.
And Thief's Theme by the legendary Godson, Nas Escobar.
Mr. Illmatic.
The reason I wanted to start though was because I wanted to start with an early homage to Iron Butterfly.
Oh, you already know who's gonna touch it, but go for it.
Yeah, because when I first heard Thief's Theme, I didn't even know that there was a cover version. I immediately thought of the Iron Butterfly version. I noticed that the tempo was different, but at the time that you hear Thief's Theme, there aren't credits in front of you, so you know. You feel where I'm going, right?
Right.
So I've always been a fan of that song. And I remember hearing the song when I was a kid and finding out that the name of the song was In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida. And I was like, why is it called that? I was like, it sounds like a slurred version of In the Garden of Eden, right? So that was later confirmed to me later on. I ended up doing some research, not for this episode, but way back when. So I wanted to share that first. So the story goes, when Jim Hilton, when he wrote the song, it wasn't intended to be 17 minutes long, but they essentially had a jam session. Iron Butterfly had a jam session.
Yes, brother, and that's a 17-minute psychedelic trip.
So Jim Hilton is essentially letting the tape roll during sound check, and they just decided to keep everything that they recorded.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Wow.
Like, so much energy is in that song. Like, you could take any section of it and find greatness. And I just found it funny that the engineer managed to, when he realized that Iron Butterfly was in the groove, just having that foresight to just keep it going. Like, don't change, just let it go.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of music. You hear it a lot, poetry in motion. That's essentially what happens in music. Like, sometimes you can't replicate certain sounds. So sometimes you just have to let it go. Yeah. Like we were talking about in pre-pro. Sometimes things go a little long. Just let it happen, because you might have a moment that you can't replicate.
Right.
You know what I mean? So here's why I tagged Lex in. I just wanted to get that off my chest before I forgot.
Oh yeah, no. Actually, that's a good point, because it's like, don't interrupt the magic. You know, it's like
Right.
you never know what kind of magical moments will happen if you just kind of let the tape roll, you know, and hearing that story is actually like a lot of sessions were like that. I mean, you're talking about like we're not used to hearing recordings over like 5 minutes long now, if that.
Right.
You
And
know.
And I miss those jam sessions. By the way, Dan Cassell, I think was how you pronounce the engineer's name.
Okay.
Dan Cassell was the one who decided to.
Man, shout out to him.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Dan Cassell. Thank you.
And shout out to all the engineers, because the engineers don't get enough credit.
Oh
for
yeah. Oh yeah, man. Totally agree. Totally agree. And so I think when you guys first introduced Thief's theme, you know, I hadn't heard the song, but when you said the cover was by the Incredible Bongo Band, I was like, oh, I thought that was by, I thought the song was by another group. Right. So at first I started researching Iron Butterfly, right. And I listened to the whole damn song.
Did you stumble across the 22-minute live version?
I did not, but 17 minutes was good enough for me.
Well, I was going to say real quick, just to throw it out there, in reference to Troy, I think people are kind of the same way with Troy, to where they think, okay, you know what I'm saying, Tom Scott was the originator of that sound, not knowing that Jefferson Airplane originally. Yeah. So I just want to throw that little
No, I mean,
so I'm glad you said that, because not to cut you off, Lex.
Yeah, go, you're good.
That I meant to say to you guys as we started this episode, what I've noticed is this pattern of original records being covered and then the cover being sampled.
Yeah.
Right. Like I love that pattern of that. Kind of like, I want to call it a trend because it's been happening forever, but I love that dichotomy in music.
Yeah.
I love the fact that as much as we always talk about hip hop sampling, the idea of sampling has existed for as long as music has been around.
Right, and that's a good point, because a lot of times when we talk about sampling, kind of covering, like the idea of covering is the parent of sampling. Like sampling was able to become a thing because a lot of people covered other songs, like covered other music.
It's almost like the evolution of music.
And so
sampling is the evolution of the cover.
Yeah, and it's funny, like I think as we continue to do this, people will hear the idea of sonic ancestry, how we keep, you know, putting that in the episodes. And I think it's so important because you have the originator, and then you have the cover, and then you have the sample of the cover, you know, and sometimes you might have the sample of the original, but there's like a line that's happening, a connectedness between all of the songs. And
like
so
you can trace the DNA.
Yeah, you can trace the DNA. You're right. So essentially I listened to Iron Butterfly, and then I was like, oh no, like somehow I found it where it actually was Incredible Bongo Band that also did a cover of the song. And I listened to that and I was like, yo, this is dope. And I ended up like downloading the whole album and blah, blah, blah.
Of course you did.
Because I mean, because they did Apache.
Yeah.
They did,
Thank you. That was another point I wanted to make, but I'm gonna let you make it.
But just to kind of like wrap this up. So they did Apache, which is another hip hop classic. Right. Incredible Bongo Band. If you are a hip hop head and you are into the history of hip hop, then you will know how important the Incredible Bongo Band is to the legacy of hip hop, particularly the early legacy of hip hop and its production and, you know, sampling and all of that.
What I love about them, I feel like we're leaving Shizz out, so I'm gonna shut up real quick. But what I love most about Incredible Bongo Band's like history in hip hop is how they got started. They were a side project,
right,
for Michael
Viner, I believe. Yeah.
Like, how does a side? They're not even a real band. I mean, not to say they're not a real band, but like they're a session band.
Dog.
Like I caught an interview with them with Dick Clark, I believe, and the members that he interviewed weren't even the members that was in the studio when they were recording.
Right.
So it's amazing that like a side project became like the foundation for hip hop classics, not just the one we talking about.
Right. I know, Shizz, you wanted to say something. I definitely want to jump on that, but I know you wanted to say something.
Well, for the people, right? If you haven't caught on by now, right? There's a lot of excitement in the air. In the room.
Yeah.
So the tracks we're discussing is Nas's Thief's theme off of the Streets Disciple album, which was a double album.
Yeah.
The producer on that was Salaam Remi, which was released in 2004. Now, he utilized the sample from the incredible bongo band In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida from their album Bongo Rock, which was produced by Michael Viner and a Perry Boykin Jr. or Botkin Jr. I'm sorry, excuse me. And it's crazy too, because Lex, I feel the same way that you did when I listened to it. When I first heard it, one, I didn't realize how much I love bongos, and then two, I like digested their whole their whole playlist and was like, dang, again, I never realized how much I love bongos.
Right.
But then also you realize, like you were saying, how much of an, I don't want to say influence, but how much of a contribution the bongo band has made to hip hop, because as you're going through it, you're hearing samples. And again, when you think of the bongo band, you initially always refer back to Apache. And then it's like, and again, not to do a disservice to them, but there's so much more than just Apache, because Apache is a fire track, and it was a fire sample as well from more notable, not more notable groups, but other notable groups as well. Yeah. So to throw that out there is dope. But again, just to jump on what you said as far as Michael Viner, you know what I'm saying, when I read his story or whatever, like he's a wild dude, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? Wild in a good way though. Yeah. And like his start into music and all that. And basically the bongo band was basically doing covers with bongos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which in itself is fire to be able. I always think it's dope when you hear like a piano cover another song, or somebody playing the guitar covering a song. And again, you don't, and I guess in essence bongos are just drums, so it's like, I mean, what's drums are one of the purest forms of instrumentation in hip-hop, so the transition to doing it with bongos is seamless and easy anyway. So I just thought it was dope. And again, shout out to the bongos for giving us some classics.
You know, at some point we had a conversation. I don't know if we had it on camera or if you had it in private, Shizz, but we had a conversation about how tribal the drums
right yeah
for our people. And I'm not
like that Black Panther kind of ish.
Right. Like I'm not trying to like set aside different cultures.
Yeah. They got you.
But there's something in us that just kind of, you gravitate to it even if you didn't know you liked it. So when you said like, I didn't even know I like bongos, your ancestry told you that.
Right.
Your ancestry told you. You ain't even know you liked it. It didn't matter.
It's like embedded in my DNA.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting because from what I've seen in my research, Michael Viner basically was a musician. He was also an artist manager as well. I believe he worked for MGM. Yeah. And basically, you know, he basically, when everyone else was out of the studio, he used it as an opportunity to book random musicians to play, you know, on these records, you know, to also supply music for movies. So it was kind of like soundtrack stuff. But it wasn't like, okay, well, I'm picking like a specific band, like I'm creating a specific band to do this music. It was really just like whoever was available, whoever wanted to do it. But when I was listening to the music, it sounds just like, you know, certain kinds of jazz and other kinds of R&B and rock and all that, it sounds dated because you can tell like the engineering, like it sounds from like the
like
70s.
the technology of it all.
It sounds a little dirty.
Right, it's dirt, it's warmer, it's dirtier. It definitely has like a certain feel to it, but it's not like a bad thing. It's not dated in like a bad way, you know. So like when I went back and actually listened to the music, I was like, yo, this music is real cool. And also as an artist, and I'm talking to all the artists out there, or artists of all kinds, create, like, because you never know like whatever you create, the impact that it's going to have. Because I'm pretty sure when they were making this music, they had no idea it would be in the canon of early hip hop like sampling. They had, I know they had no idea.
You can't know that. You
can't know that. Yeah,
there's no way. And just to double back to their history, I'm talking about the band. I feel like we got to get the Nas at some point.
I got one loaded up.
Okay, but no. Just to go back to like their history and like how was, you know, Mike was just taking different pieces. Right. So going back to the Dick Clark interview that I stumbled across, they didn't even know each other's names because the members were so interchangeable at the time. So if that's how you operate business, you can't possibly know that 20 years from now,
right,
that your music is still that version of that song is hip hop royalty.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy too, because again, I always give a shout out to, definitely, like you said in the beginning, God did definitely give a shout out to Iron Butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Again, the same way we're talking about the bongo band, where the bongo band wouldn't have been able to get that sound. If you trace it back, right? Salaam Remi doesn't get that sound and that sample unless the bongo band does what they do. But the bongo band doesn't get that sound and that sample and that cover unless Iron Butterfly does what they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now jumping on to the Mr. Nasir Jones train.
Oh yeah.
For me, and it's crazy because I remember I read this not too long ago, like recently, like a few days ago. Somebody was debating online about the Thief's theme and how it wasn't like.
What's the debate?
Wasn't a top track. Now again, I always say music is all subjective. For the most part, there's really no right or wrong answer about it. It's all about what you like. But for me, the Thief's theme is one of my probably top 5 top personal Nas tracks of all time. Wow. I love this track. Go for it, slide in.
I just want to slide in real quick. You know why that's a top 5 Nas track for me?
Oh.
Not because of the song itself, but because of what it meant for Nas at the time that it released. At the time that it released, I think it was after God's Son, the Jay-Z beef was kind of dying down, and his last real big single was "I Know I Can," which was kind of
2004.
Say again.
Release was 2004.
For Thief's theme.
Yeah.
All right, so that's not too far removed from the Jay-Z beef.
Right.
And God's Son had came out a couple years before, and I Know I Can was the big single from God's Son. And it was kind of poppy, not poppy, but pop for Nas, right?
Right.
And people were kind of wondering, like, when Nas gonna get back to grimy Nas? And when Thief's theme came out, all I had to hear was the check 1, 2, who got more style than Sundu. I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry. My bad. I was just rocking out, man. Like I said, that's one of my top Nas tracks, and I remember watching and listening to a Salaam Remi interview.
Okay.
And he was talking and saying that track, like nobody was talking about that track when it released. And when I heard that, I thought it was crazy because again, like I said, music is all subjective. You know what I'm saying? There's no real right or wrong answer, right? But for me, as a hip hop music dude, if you like the Iron Butterfly track, if you like the bongo band track, how would you not like the hip hop version of this joint? And it's like, yo, to me, the track went so hard, and not only because I thought it was dope, because it almost it made me think about Annie Up, right? Because it's like the Robin Still anthem. This is like the anthem for, you know what I'm saying, for the black gloves and hoodie, you know what I'm saying, for the ski mask team or whatever.
Ski mask music.
Yeah, but it just went so hard. And
no, you know what's crazy? If Annie Up is the beat you up and rob you anthem, Thief's theme is the catch you slipping late at night.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So it's different.
It's like different, almost like different levels to it.
Yeah.
Like stylistically or something, but with the same. It's like it's several ways to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? So you just pick which one is yours. Right. But again, not just because the lyrics, but the production. The production went so hard, and the sample that he used was so dope. Yeah. And when I heard that joint, I instantly fell in love, and I was like, "Yo, this is especially because we weren't really like or me myself, like Illmatic is touted as a classic, right? But I wasn't really coming up or old enough to kind of understand hip hop at that time. But when the Thief's theme dropped in 2004, I can remember buying that double CD, putting it on, and I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling this, John. I'm feeling this."
Thief's theme is arguably the best song on there.
It's as far as like an overall, and because I got a couple favorite tracks off of that album, but for me, the Thief's theme is it. Lex, you look like you got something cooking in slow cooking.
I know, because I was totally about to stand out. I'm like, no, we gotta
jump back in there.
I don't have too much to say about this particular song, because I think like there will be songs that I absolutely love, and then there will be songs that like I might dig the production more than I can like necessarily feel maybe like the lyrics or the story, what have you.
So basically saying is what we gotta do is a part 2 for Hip Hop Is Dead, because I feel like you like that one.
Because you know what? To be honest, I did listen to Hip Hop Is Dead. I was feeling that one more.
Right. So I feel like, hey people, we gonna do a part 2 to this joint.
No, let her go. Let her go.
Oh, you want to go ahead and rock out?
Because I was going to touch on it anyway.
Because in essence, it's borrowing 2 samples from the same group. So let it rock, Lex. Let it rock.
Because I wanted to talk about it too. So go ahead.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like, I'll follow your lead. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah,
Lex, I'll let you rock out real quick though. Reese, speaking back onto your point about how it's that Rob is still music too. Shout out to Martin Scorsese. I have to say that because he's one of my top producers, directors in the movie game. But he used the Thief's theme in his movie The Departed.
Oh wow!
When I heard that,
in the Departed.
Oh my! You have no idea how I was like, oh, me and Leo about to go do some dirt right now.
Really?
Make sure I said that, but go ahead, Lex.
No, he used Thief's theme in The Departed.
Yeah, it wasn't on the soundtrack, but it was in the film.
Yeah, it was part of the story.
Really, because I've watched The Departed, so I'm like just trying to remember like when
they were in the car, they were riding down the street, and it was
like him and his cousin or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I hadn't seen it in a while, but I did see that film.
It's really early on. You'll miss it because that
movie is the truth, by the way, too.
Yeah,
I've watched that movie way too many times.
Yeah, it is good. It is.
Shout out Jack Nick, but go ahead, Lex.
And that's so correct. That's so crazy. I think I kind of want to speak to the ingenuity in regards to Salaam Remi, and if I am correct in him using the same track for both of those songs.
Let me correct you. Will.i.am did Hip Hop Is Dead.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering if he did, but I didn't want to assume.
No, Will.i.am did Hip Hop Is Dead.
Well, they utilized the Iron Butterfly bongo band sample.
Yeah, they both used the bongo band.
And then but then he also incorporated the Apache bongos in there too.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is completely fine. I mean, I was feeling Hip Hop Is Dead more as far as like the overall content, but still as the song and as Salaam Remi, you know, like using that particular song for Nas as a track. I mean, I definitely want to give a lot of love to Salaam because he's a dope producer. When we talk about underrated,
that's what I was about. I was going to ask you to that too. So go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely think he is underrated. Absolutely, and he's worked with a number of like, you know, popular artists. And for me,
Amy Winehouse.
Right. He worked with my personal goat too.
Yeah,
got a whole EP with Black Thought.
Yes, look. So I primarily know him from his work with Nas and Amy Winehouse. You know, and the work that he's done with Amy Winehouse, me being a fan of hers, you know, and the kind of sound that she was going for, how she was so influenced by hip hop and incorporated that into her particular like jazzy sound. I thought it was really great that he could support her in that, you know, working on, you know, her 2 albums, Frank and Back to Black. So, you know, it was really dope that we could see him like working on music like that. It was kind of like, I think we had a conversation about DJ Premier and how, you know, DJ Premier also worked on Christina Aguilera's music. He worked on one of her albums, Back to Basics. And there's kind of like this like, well, how could like this dude, you know, who's worked with like Nas and Black Thought and like all these other hip hop artists possibly work with like Amy Winehouse or possibly work with like other pop artists? It's like, no, they're just versatile. They're musical. And yeah, so essentially Salaam being like a real musical cat, you know, he plays multiple instruments, you know, which is something I didn't even know, but he plays multiple instruments. He has his own, you know, like a label or company as well, his own music company as well, you know, like he does a lot. And it's good to see like producers be versatile, because as we're talking about hip hop, a lot of times we kind of, and not saying us, but just like, I think the assumption a lot of times is that hip hop producers primarily should just stick with hip hop, like they're not able to be versatile or anything. And it's like, you just keep proving people wrong. Like these producers are really flexible and adaptable. And it's like, it's all music at the end of the day. So having Salaam Remi, like
I see you down there burning.
I
see that stone burning.
Just real quick, just having Salaam Remi like be able to take this cover of this song and create something that is so like is one of the standout tracks on this album, I think is really powerful. And once again, it just speaks to the testament and the creativity of hip hop producers and how we really, they need to get their flowers. They need to get the respect that they deserve for being so creative. Like it's so crazy, man. Cause like, who would have ever thought that this song, like In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida, would have, you know, transitioned into hip hop? Like it just, I love this stuff, man. Like it's so cool.
So I'm gonna be all over the place. One, I want to give Nas his flowers. One, Thief's Theme is easily the hardest record that came out that year, right? For him to be able to touch that sample again when will.i.am gave it to him for Hip Hop Is Dead, and to give you something completely different, because at the time everybody was saying hip hop is dying. It's not what it used to be.
Right.
So you gave me a, for lack of a better phrase, you gave me a Thief's Theme, and you gave me a conscious commentary on where hip hop is right now.
Right, yeah.
On the same sample, you get 2 totally different songs. In preparation for this episode, I was downstairs listening to Thief's Theme. I was watching the video. So I'm with my daughter. My daughter's kind of nodding her head away. So I was like, let me listen to Hip Hop Is Dead real quick. So I pulled a video. She starts dancing. Same sample, but a different bounce.
Yeah.
Different bounce.
Yeah.
Same artist, different bounce, different content. That speaks to how great Nas is. Nas, everybody calls Jay the GOAT, and I don't dismiss that. Nas might be the greatest pen we have in this culture, because there's not too many people that can navigate through storytelling. Thieves Theme and Hip Hop Is Dead, they're both stories. They're both, it's all commentary. And it, it just speaks to how great Nas is. And I'm not even, for the longest time, I wasn't the greatest Nas fan. Like, I'm not like a Nas stan. I just really respect him.
Right.
And what that man can do with a pen is insanity to me. Like, again, like, you're able to touch back into your old life. That's how he ended Thieves Theme. I had to give y'all something touching on my old life for the thieves that come out at night. 2 years later, same sample, you being socially conscious about where hip hop is right now. It's not too many people that can do that over the same sample. And I'll close with this. I want to give a really big shout out to Salaam Remi. Salaam Remi
slept on.
Everything that Lex said is true. Here's where I want to give him his props. So when he drops Stream of Thought Volume 2 with Black Thought, they go on the Tonight Show. And Black Thought performs Conception. Salaam Remi is right next to him. And I can't remember if it's a bass or a cello, but I didn't even know it was Salaam because the lights weren't on him. So when the lights go on him, I'm like, get the hell out of here. I didn't know Salaam Remi could play like that. You can't pigeonhole producers, and that's why you saw me kind of steaming Shizz at the bottom. Because I find that in hip hop, not so much now, but back in the day, that used to be a thing where you try to keep producers where you want them to be. I never want to do that with producers. I want Havoc to work with everybody. I want Salaam to work with everybody. I want Metro Boomin, whoever. Work with as many people as you can, because at the end of the day, this music is all we have. And it's something we created. You can't pigeonhole what we created. We dictate where it goes. If you want to go along for the ride, you can. If not, so be it.
Alexis ride with him.
I commend all the producers for doing exactly what they want to do. When Primo played that Christina Aguilera record against RZA in verses, and some of the fans was like, man, why he play that? I know why he played it. Because that joint made him money, and that's a hit.
How about it? I mean, I completely agree. I don't really have too much to say. It's just, this is why I love what we do, because you get to see the sonic lineage. You get to see the connection between like rock and hip hop. You get to see like in regards to the sample, really In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida is a loop. It's even in the rock song. Dun, 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 dun. That's it. It does that for like 17 minutes with occasional breaks. It's just a loop. Like,
and that's why I told you, like, you got to see the live performance, because the live performance, they make it look so effortless. Like, I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send it to you after we record this.
But it's just so cool to see how, producers continue to reach back into like these different genres, these different pockets of music that could easily be forgotten, and they like just really breathe new life into it. And it's so funny because, I mean, this is just a cute side note, but I ended up watching on YouTube, they had a clip from the Simpsons when the church organist like played it. And it was just like, oh my God, it was just so cute. But like, even in popular media and movies and cartoons or animated shows and things of that nature, how I couldn't remember that they even used it in The Departed, but the fact that like we get to see like this incredible music be used in these ways, it's just like, yo, like I just love the balanced creativity that all of this has. So like shout out to, Iron Butterfly, incredible bongo band, Salaam Remi, Nas, and just, the creators that can continue to, keep this thing alive, man.
Oh. Shout out to will.i.am too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I gotta follow all of that, right?
You do.
So,
you got it.
I mean, it wouldn't be no fun if I didn't.
Right, you got it.
Hey, again, nothing y'all said was wrong. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Thief's Theme is one of my top Nas tracks. Right around there, What Made You Look. Again, another Salaam Remi. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that later.
But, you get to that now?
Right. But yeah, shout out to Nas, shout out to Salaam, shout out to Bongo Band, shout out to Michael Viner. Because again, like I said, his story is crazy too. And shout out to Iron Butterfly, because I think I'm coming down now off my little acid trip or whatever.
Allegedly.
With all that being said, hey, with all that being said, in my mind, the bongos are playing because we are the B Connection, and it's what we do. We breathe life back into these old tracks and samples and all of that, and we had fun while we was doing it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this psychedelic trip and ride. Yeah, she's rocking. So I hope y'all enjoyed all of this, because we definitely did. Again, shout out to all parties involved. If we forgot anybody, we'll catch you on the flip side. But definitely flowers and all of that. But yeah, man, Thief's Theme. Play me at night, they don't act right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hard, gritty, right? You know what I'm saying? But again, all of that came from acid trip from Iron Butterfly to a Michael Viner cover, you know what I'm saying, not knowing who's who or who. So, you know what I'm saying, Salaam Remi grabbing it, doing this thing, creating this track for Nas, and then Nas having the idea of jumping with will.i.am, or will.i.am having the idea to jump in with Nas and putting his thing to it. So shout out to all parties involved. We'll probably have a part 2 coming of Hip Hop is Dead, so stay tuned for that. And with all that being said, we are the Beat Connection. Let's drop your bars.
All right, everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to comment. Let us know what songs and samples you want us to talk about next. And go check out Thief's Theme, In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida. Check it out by Iron Butterfly. Remind yourself of how dope that song is.
In-a-Gadda-Da-Vida.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll see y'all in the next episode.
17 minutes.
17 for the live version.
That's a hell of a trip, yo. You gotta be seeing butterflies and all kinds of stuff.
you gotta be in it for the long haul.
Yeah, we are the B Connection, yo.
Yes.
Can do.
Peace, y'all.